Ladies and gentlemen, marriage, it ain't a fairy tale. It's not that perfect Instagram post or the couple holding hands on the beach. Marriage is real. It's raw. It's two people waking up every day and choosing each other, even when you don't feel like it. See, folks think love is enough, but love alone won't pay the bills, won't raise the kids, won't fix the attitude when one of y'all wakes up mad for no reason. What makes a marriage work is understanding, effort, and forgiveness on repeat. Let me give you the truth. Marriage will test your patience, your pride, and your peace. But if you stay the course, it'll also show you a love deeper than anything you can imagine. You gotta communicate even when it's uncomfortable. You gotta sacrifice even when it's inconvenient. And you gotta laugh because laughter keeps the heart light when life gets heavy. Don't chase perfection, chase partnership. Because when two imperfect people commit to a perfect God given purpose, that's when marriage truly works. Let me tell y'all something about marriage. Everybody wants one, but not everybody's ready for what comes with it. We live in a world where people spend months planning a wedding, but they don't spend 5 minutes preparing for the marriage. They'll pick out the flowers, the playlist, the colors, but never talk about what's gonna happen when that honeymoon glow wears off and real life walks in the door. See, marriage ain't the pictures you see on social media. It ain't matching outfits and breakfast in bed. Marriage is bills, arguments, sacrifice, and learning to love somebody, even when they ain't acting lovable. You gotta understand, love is the foundation, but it ain't the whole house. The house is built on communication, forgiveness, patience, and faith. You can't build a strong marriage on feelings because feelings change. You build it on choices, on commitment. Every morning when you wake up, you got to make a decision. You either choose your spouse or you choose your pride. And a lot of people don't make the right choice because pride is loud. Pride says, I don't need to apologize. Pride says, I'll wait for them to say something first. But love, real love, says, let me go make it right. Because in a marriage, being right don't mean you win. Sometimes being humble means you both win. Now let me tell you something I've learned. Over the years, marriage will show you exactly who you are. It's like holding up a mirror to your soul. You'll see your patience level, your selfishness, your flaws, everything. Because when you live with somebody every day, they see the real you. You can't fake it forever. You can't pretend to be perfect, because sooner or later, life will test that. And when life tests you, that's when you see if you got a partner or a passenger. A partner stays in the boat when the water gets rough. A passenger jumps ship when the ride gets uncomfortable. Marriage ain't about finding someone who makes you happy every single day. It's about finding someone who's willing to go through the hard days with you. See, happiness is a moment, commitment is a mindset, and that's the unspoken truth. Love is a feeling, but marriage is a job. It's the hardest job you'll ever have, but it comes with the biggest rewards. There are days you'll look at your spouse and feel like the luckiest person alive. And there'll be days you'll look at them and wonder what in the world you were thinking. But both of those days are part of the journey. Don't run from the hard days. That's where the growth happens. Let me tell y'all a story. I remember talking to an older man once, been married over 50 years. I asked him, how'd you do it? What's the secret? He said, Steve, it ain't no secret. You just never stop trying. That's it. You don't stop showing up when it gets hard. You don't stop communicating when it gets quiet. You don't stop loving when it feels one-sided, because love is not what you feel, love is what you do. Now I know some of y'all thinking, Steve, what about when it ain't fair? What about when one person is doing all the work? Let me tell you something, every relationship has seasons. There will be times when you're carrying more weight. Maybe your spouse is going through something, stress, health, loss, whatever it is. You carry them then, because one day you're gonna need them to carry you. That's balance. That's teamwork. You don't measure love by keeping score. You measure it by how much you're willing to give without expecting a trophy. Marriage requires communication more than chemistry. Chemistry gets you in the door, but communication keeps you in the house. You can't fix what you don't talk about. And you can't expect your partner to read your mind. That's not love, that's fantasy. You gotta talk even when it's uncomfortable. You gotta say, this hurt me. You gotta say, I need you to listen. You gotta say, I'm sorry. Because silence builds walls and communication builds bridges. Another truth people don't talk about enough, forgiveness. You can't have a long marriage without it. I don't care how perfect y'all look on the outside. You're both gonna make mistakes. You'll say things you regret. You'll let each other down. You'll fall short. Forgiveness don't mean you ignore the pain. It means you choose peace over punishment. You can't move forward if you're still dragging the past behind you. Every day you hold a grudge, you're adding weight to your relationship. Let it go. Now, I ain't saying be a fool. Forgiveness don't mean you allow disrespect. It means you allow healing, because sometimes the hardest thing to do is to say, I forgive you, especially when you were the one that got hurt. But I promise you, forgiveness frees you just as much as it frees them. And let me tell you another truth. You gotta laugh. Laughter is the medicine of marriage. Don't take everything so serious. You're gonna have moments where life hits hard, bills, kids, jobs, health, it gets heavy. But laughter keeps the heart light. Sometimes you just got a look at each other and laugh at how crazy life gets. My wife and I, we've had arguments so dumb that later we couldn't even remember what we were mad about. That's when you realize if you can laugh together, you can survive together. A sense of humor in a marriage is like oil in a car. It keeps things running smooth. If you lose your laughter, you start grinding. So don't forget to laugh, to play, to flirt, like you did when you first met. Keep that spark alive, not by chasing excitement, but by creating moments of joy every day. Now listen, I've been around long enough to tell you marriage ain't for the faint of heart. It's for grown folks. It's for people who understand that love requires work. You gotta invest time, energy, patience, and prayer. You gotta protect your marriage from outside noise, from people who don't understand what you and your spouse are building. Everybody don't need to know your business. Protect your peace, protect your partner. When you find someone who believes in you, stands by you, prays for you, and challenges you to grow, you better hold on to them. Because good people are rare and loyalty is priceless. So, what's the unspoken truth of marriage? It's not perfect, it's not easy, it's not always romantic, but it's real. It's two people saying, we may not have it all together, but together we have it all. It's showing up every day, choosing love over ego, forgiveness over resentment, and laughter over tension. It's falling in love with the same person over and over again, not because they changed, but because you decided to see them with new eyes. And when it's all said and done, you realize marriage ain't about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person. You grow, you learn, you forgive, and you keep moving forward hand in hand. Because when you get it right, when you learn how to truly love, marriage becomes one of the most beautiful gifts God can give you. Let me tell you something, man. Everybody wanna talk about chemistry. Oh, Steve, we just clicked. We finish each other's sentences. We got that spark. Let me tell you something about that spark. Sparks fade if you don't learn how to talk. You can have all the chemistry in the world, but if you can't communicate, that love will die in silence. Chemistry is what gets you in the door, but communication, that's what keeps you in the house. People think marriage ends because of cheating or money. But most of the time it ends because two people stopped talking and started assuming. One person starts feeling unheard, the other starts feeling unappreciated, and next thing you know, there's a wall between you that neither of y'all built on purpose, but it's there. I've seen it happen over and over again. Couples who used to laugh together now can't stand to be in the same room, and you know why, because they stopped communicating. They started playing that game, I'm not gonna talk until they talk. Man, let me tell you something, that silence can destroy everything you built. Silence is a slow killer in marriage. You gotta talk, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. See, chemistry is what makes you smile when they text you. Communication is what makes you stay when they disappoint you. Chemistry is butterflies. Communication is building. And if you want to make it last, you gotta build. You can't survive off butterflies forever. They don't live that long. Now, a lot of people don't know how to communicate. You think communication means talking. It don't. It means listening. Some folks talk so much that they don't ever hear nothing. Communication is not about getting your point across. It's about understanding the other person's point of view. Sometimes your spouse ain't asking for a solution, they're just asking to be heard. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. When a woman says I'm fine, brother, she is not fine. That's a trap. That's a signal. That means you need to stop whatever you're doing and figure out what's really going on. See, women communicate differently. They speak through emotion. Men speak through logic. So when she's expressing how she feels and you jump in trying to fix it, she don't feel heard. She feels dismissed. You gotta learn to listen without trying to fix everything. Sometimes she just wants you to sit there and say, I hear you, baby. I understand. That's all it takes. And ladies, let me talk to you too. Men don't express everything right away, but that don't mean we don't feel. Sometimes your man goes quiet not because he don't care, but because he's trying to figure out how to say what he feels without blowing up. You gotta give him space to process. Don't chase him into a corner with what's wrong. What's wrong? You don't love me. Let him come to you when he's ready. Respect that. Men open up when they feel safe, not when they feel pressured. You see, communication is a skill, not a gift. You gotta practice it. You gotta be intentional about it. You don't just get married and automatically know how to communicate. You learn each other's language. You learn when to speak and when to stay quiet. You learn what triggers them, what soothes them, what builds them up, what tears them down. That's the real work of marriage, learning how to talk in a way that heals, not hurts. Some people don't even realize how their tone can destroy a conversation. You can say the right words in the wrong tone and still lose your partner's trust. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. You raise your voice, they shut down. You get sarcastic, they feel attacked. You ignore them, they feel invisible. Every word, every look, every silence, it all communicates something. You can't take that lightly, and sometimes the biggest problem ain't miscommunication, it's no communication. People go to bed angry, wake up bitter, and carry that energy for days. You know how many marriages could be saved with one honest conversation, just one. Sit down and say, hey, I'm not okay. I love you, but we need to talk. That one sentence can stop a storm from turning into a hurricane, but pride keeps people quiet. Pride ruins more marriages than infidelity ever will. Now I know some of y'all sitting here thinking, Steve, what if I'm the only one trying? Let me tell you something. Communication takes two, but it starts with one. Somebody's gotta go first. Somebody's gotta be brave enough to say, I don't want to fight. I just want to fix it. And when you take that first step, sometimes that softens the other person's heart, because deep down everybody wants peace. Nobody likes living in tension. You can't build a marriage on assumptions. You can't assume they know how you feel. You can't assume they understand your silence. You can't assume they'll just figure it out. You gotta speak up. Closed mouths don't get healed. If something's bothering you, say it with love. If you need something, express it with kindness. And if you appreciate something, say it out loud. Appreciation keeps love alive. You'd be surprised how far a thank you or I'm proud of you can go. And let me tell you something real. People cheat, people leave, people drift away not always because they don't love you, but because they don't feel seen, heard, or valued anymore. That's why communication is more powerful than chemistry. Chemistry might attract you, but communication connects you. Chemistry is fire. Communication is oxygen. Without oxygen, that fire dies. I remember talking to a woman once who told me, "Steve, I just want my husband to talk to me again." And I said, "When's the last time you talked to him without criticizing him?" She paused, because sometimes we think we're communicating, but all we're doing is complaining. There's a difference between expressing your needs and attacking your partner. You gotta create an atmosphere where conversation feels safe, not like a courtroom. You can't keep score. You can't weaponize words. You gotta use them to build, not break. And here's something else people forget. Communication ain't just words, it's actions, it's body language, it's consistency. You can say "I love you" every day, but if your actions say otherwise, those words mean nothing. Communication is also how you show up. When your partner's going through something, you don't always need to talk. Sometimes just being there speaks louder than any words. You ever see an older couple who've been married for decades? They don't even have to talk that much. They just get each other. You can see it in the way they look, the way they move, the way they sit together in silence. That kind of understanding don't come from chemistry. It comes from years of communication, from staying up late to work through problems instead of walking away, from learning how to listen when it's inconvenient, from choosing love over ego 1,000 times. Communication is what makes love mature. It's what turns passion into partnership. It's what keeps two people growing together instead of growing apart. You can have the looks, the money, the spark, but if you can't talk through pain, apologize with sincerity, and listen with empathy, you ain't gonna last. So if you're in a relationship right now, don't chase butterflies, chase understanding. Don't wait for perfect timing to talk, talk before it's too late. Learn to listen, learn to speak love, learn to say "I'm sorry," and learn to say "thank you." That's how you keep a marriage alive, because at the end of the day, it ain't about how good you look together, it's about how well you talk together. Chemistry fades, but communication, that's what keeps love standing when everything else falls.